BEDE, been a while since I wanted you in the game. But where the heck is Victor? Why is he still not here? Anyway, BEDE is a fairy type texting pair. And as you might know, we have a lot of fairy type texting pairs. Do we need another one? Well, in this video, we are going to discuss about BEDE and Hatterene and see how they stack against the fairy type meta. So, don't forget to hit the thumbs up as well as subscribe if you haven't. And let me know in the comment section right now if you're actually interested in scouting for this guy, waiting for my analysis, despite the number of master fairs that we have. And with that out of the way, let's get discussing. Here we go! Yo, yo, yo! This is Solo, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. You're this Team Skull Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, in this video, we are going to discuss the last sync pair that comes out in this update, which is BEDE and Hatterene. Now, if you guys want another, all the previous ones, you can check out my June Sync Pairs Who to Scout for video where I discuss all the others, or individually if you want. I have a Scout or Skip video for SYGNA with Ethan, Scout or Skip for SYGNA with LYRA, as well as a Scout or Skip for SYGNA with Kris and SUICUNE. But again, I am not going to be discussing them in this video. In this video, we're just going to discuss the last unit of this update, excluding the rerun units, which is BEDE and Hatterene. Now, before I continue, BEDE is the only Pokefair Scout in this update. Again, June 16 is kind of approaching the actually the second half of June. And as the game, the Pokemon Masters letter or dev letter has, teased us, we're going to get at least one sync pair by the last few days of June, which is gonna be our summer seasonal last few days of June, plus another one, probably 2 days apart. And it probably before the last few days, before the summer seasonal actually come close, we might actually have another one just before that. But who knows, right? Who knows? Right now, I don't know. Maybe DNA knows. Maybe the Pokemon Masters partners know, and they're just keeping it secret. Or I don't know. Anyway, as a Pokefair, he is a limited unit. So that means if his banner goes away on, let me just hide myself, on July 3, that means he's gonna be gone. But he's not gonna be gone for good, because Pokefair units have a rerun pause span of between 3 months to 12 months. Between 3 months to 1 year, then they come back. As you might know, Lucas just came on January and now he's back. He's gonna be back on June 20. So if you're interested in scouting for Lucas, well, he's gonna be in a combined banner together with Red, who already reran but is rerunning again, and Gloria, who has a sus memory of prestige events which has never rerun ever. Now, as a Pokefair sync pair, there's a 10% chance of getting a random 5-star. I forgot to mention these for the others. And then there's a 2% chance of scouting for BEDE. So in a Master Fair though, there is a 12% chance of getting a 5-star. So again, 12% for them, 10% for this guy, random 5-star, and a 2% of getting BEDE, as well as 1% of scouting for the featured unit in a Master Fair. So maybe that will help you decide the odds of getting. They all share the same 36,600 non-paid gems scout points. There's no paid route for this one except the daily discount. And then what else? There are no presents for Pokefairs. unless the game gives us presents, but no presents as far as I'm aware with BEDE. But you can get presents from scouting first 5 multiples, scouting SYGNA Suit Ethan, SYGNA Suit LYRA, and SYGNA Suit Kris. So no presents here, and that out of the way, let's get discussing BEDE and Hatterene's kit right now. We'll show you a truly great pink. Now, again, he is a tech sync pair, and he has 3 different types of attacks. Dazzling Gleam is a fairy type, Mystical Fire is a fire type, Psybeam is a psychic type attack. Psybeam has a 10% chance of leaving the opponent confused. Dazzling Gleam hits everyone. Mystical Fire hits 1 but lowers the opponent's special attack stat -1. And then, as you might know, this guy has a Dynamax or a G-Max form. And I made a mistake saying this in my Who to Scout for video. It's G-Max Smite, not Spite. Thank you for correcting me. It's G-Max Smite. And if you use this, it makes everyone confused. Every single opponent confused. Max Flare brings in Sunny Day, and Max Mindstorm brings in Psychic Terrain. You can only use this once per battle, and it will only hit 1 opponent. Now, he has a trainer move called Back at You, which applies the status condition reflection effect to the allied field of play. So if the opponent makes you poisoned or burn or paralyzed or frozen, this is excluding trap, flinching, and confuse. I don't think this applies to that. Instead of hitting you, it will reflect back to the opponent. So the opponent will be paralyzed, poisoned, burned, or frozen instead. And then it raises your special attack +2, as well as raises your critical hit rate +2, as well as lowers your defense by 1. This is sad, but you can use this twice. And if you use this twice, you get to maximize your critical hit rate, you get to raise your special attack +4, and you lower your defense -2. Which, better to get another sync pair to help you raise your defenses back, something like Aaron or something. And his sync move is Most Elite Fairy Beam, which powers up the sync move if the opponent is confused. And how do you confuse the opponent? Again, by using G-Max Smite or by using Psybeam. 10% chance of leaving the opponent confused. But the most important or the most interesting thing about BEDE is not the attacks, but the passives. The passive skills, Baffle buff 9. If the opponent is confused, you get to hit the opponent with a stronger damage in your normal attacks, as well as land stronger damage with your sync move. So, this is excluding the built-in multiplier for Most Elite Fairy Beam. Baffle buff 9 is an additional multiplier that will power up your sync move as well as normal attack when the opponent is confused. You also get another one, Maximum Superpowered 5, if the opponent is weak to fairy type attacks. Your Dazzling Gleam, your G-Max Smite, as well as your sync move is gonna be more powered up, 50% more powered up. And if the opponent is weak to fire, then Mystical Fire as well as Max Flare is gonna be more powered up. And if the opponent is weak to Psychic, then your Max Mindstorm as well as your Psybeam is gonna be powered up. So a lot of multipliers happening here, and the best thing about him is that you are only using 2 move gauge attacks. 2 move gauge. So it's not like, for example, Diantha. Diantha hit the gas 5 with 4 move gauge Moonblast as well as 3 move gauge, was it Dazzling Gleam? I forgot, I think so. And this one is just 2 move gauges for everyone, or for all his attacks. And one more thing that we haven't discussed yet, Stupefication 9. Whenever you hit an opponent using a normal attack or a sync move or a max move, you get to lower both special attack and special defense -1. -1. Every single time you attack the opponent, you get to lower their special attack and special defense -1. And this is very good with Dazzling Gleam because Dazzling Gleam hits everyone, and Dazzling Gleam, all his moves are special attacks. So not only are you debuffing the opponent's special attack stat, you're also raising your own damage every single time because you're lowering the opponent's special defense. So that's awesome. You get to debuff the opponent non-stop, and this is a 100% chance of lowering both, not just one. And yeah, he is a very good debuffer unit. You can keep debuffing the opponent, debuff. And again, the multipliers involve confusion as well as it has to be super effective, and you got a very, very strong sync pair. As someone like this, you can choose to give Critical Strike 2 because he can maximize his own critical hit rate, or Superpowered 3 because he has 3 different types of moves if you prefer the additional 10% increase in damage. But then, if you're fighting against off-type opponents, you will not be able to trigger Superpowered 3. The opponent has to be weak to either Fairy, Fire, or Psychic moves. And now, let's talk about his sync grid very quickly since I've kind of extended that and I'm trying to get these videos much shorter because you guys requested it. 2 out of 5, you get Gobsmacked 4. And this one is similar to Anniversary Skyla. This is basically every single time you attack the opponent, you have a 50% chance of leaving the opponent confused. And this is good because his multipliers have a lot to do with confusion. And this applies to all his attacks. Not the max moves, not the sync move, but all his attacks. So either AoE Dazzling Gleam, or Mystical Fire 1 target, or Psybeam. So this time you don't have to use the max move, G-Max Smite, to confuse the opponent now. You don't have to use Psybeam. You can just keep using Dazzling Gleam, hits everyone, and now it has a 50% chance of confusing the opponent. If the opponent is confused, Baffle Buff 9 will trigger. And then there are also a couple of multipliers that we can see over here. 3 out of 5 you get Confusion Synergy 9, which basically increases your attack damage by around 90%. So imagine your Dazzling Gleam get 90% more damage from Baffle Buff 9 and 90% more damage from Confusion Synergy 9. Wow! And then there's Super Duper Effective 2 at 2 out of 5, which if the opponent is weak to Fairy type moves, you get to power it up more. If the opponent's weak to Fairy, you got maximum Superpowered 5. Power it up even more. Crazy, crazy, crazy 2 move gauge, fast AoE Fairy type damage. Crazy. And then over at 3 out of 5, you get some interesting things as well. You got Fuzzy Strike 5. This is basically another confusion multiplier, this time for the sync move. So his sync move multiplier built in, Most Elite Fairy Beam, plus Baffle Buff 9, the opponent is confused, plus maximum Superpowered 5 if the opponent's weak to Fairy, plus Fuzzy Strike 5 if the opponent is confused, equals strong sync nuke damage. Kaboom! You got Hard Knocks 9 as well, which basically 1 random stat will be lowered if you hit the opponent with an attack. So if you use Dazzling Gleam, you know, you hit everyone, you get to lower 1 random stat. If yeah, you get to lower 1 random stat, not just the normal attack, by the way, but also the sync move and the max move. It's like Unfortuitous 9, except that it affects all types of moves, not just your attack, but also sync move, but also max move. 1 random stat, either attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, or evasiveness, except critical hit rate. And then Stupefier 4 has a 50% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense by another stat rank if you use an attack, a sync move, or a max move. Nice. It is an addition to Stupefication 9, which lowers the opponent's special defense and special attack. This one just special defense, but only 50% chance. So, I'm not sure if this is overkill or not. Probably not if you want to lower the opponent's special defense as quickly as possible. You know, this one is good. And then he gets multipliers or additional sync nuke tiles as well as max nuke tiles for his grid and kit. And now, as you might know, it's impossible to get everything. So let's head over to STDK12's Homa Tools over here, which you can see over here at 1 out of 5, you cannot actually get everything. You have an energy left -4, so you have to sacrifice one thing or another. Well, you have to choose which move will you use more. So probably I'll use Dazzling Gleam more often, so probably I'll remove Mystical Fire Move Gauge Refresh and you're good, or Psybeam Move Gauge Refresh and you're good. Or, you know, you can just remove Clear-Headed if you're not really worried about getting confused and something like that. So that's the 1 out of 5 grid. You just have to sacrifice one tile and you should be good. 2 out of 5, you got a couple of choices. I would personally get Gobsmack 4. Very, very good. 50% chance of confusing all opponents when you use Dazzling Gleam. And as you might know, again, he has a lot to do with confusion multipliers. So I got Gobsmack 4, Dazzling Gleam, Move Gauge Refresh, Dazzling Gleam, Dazzling Gleam, Dazzling Gleam, as well as Special Attack plus 10. And if the opponent is weak to, you know, fairy type attacks, I have a super duper effective 2 over here, which powers up my Dazzling Gleam even more. And just for randomness, I got Weird Recovery 1, just in case I am able to bring Psychic Terrain and I can probably recover whenever I use a move when there's a Psychic Terrain. Just randomness. It's your choice, whatever you want to get here. Because again, Sync Grid, there's no right or wrong. It's just mostly playing with it as well as experimentation. Not 3 out of 5, I have 2 different builds. One build is the normal attack build, which I got super duper effective 2 over here. I got a trainer move ramp up 1. As you might know, his trainer move raises special attack plus 2, critical hit rate plus 2, and lowers your defense stat -1. This one, by getting ramp up 1, I'm raising or maximizing my special attack by using my trainer move twice, as well as critical hit rate is maxed. And I do not need to lower my defense stat by another stat rank by not getting the MP refresh. And yeah, I also got Gobsmack 4 once again over here to the top left part or top right part of the screen, as well as Confusion Synergy 9 to power up my Dazzling Gleam. I'm gonna focus on Dazzling Gleam probably here in order to power up my moves when the opponent is confused. So we got a lot of multipliers. Confusion Synergy 9, Gobsmack 4, not Gobsmack 4, Super Duper Effective 2, we got Buffle Bath 9, we got, whatchamacallit, the other one, I forgot. Maximum Super Powered 5. We got so many multipliers happening with BEDE and Hatterene that it's crazy. And the other build that I have is the Sync Nuke build, which I got both Sync Nuke tiles over there to the... What the heck happened to my face? Give me a sec. Sus! There you go. What the heck happened to my face? Got 2 Sync Nuke tiles over there. And then we got a Gobsmack 4 for the confusion, as well as a Fuzzy Strike 5 to the bottom right part of the screen. We also got the trainer move ramp up 1 so that we can maximize our special attack stat, and a special attack plus 10 to the top right corner of the screen just to increase our damage even more. So those are gonna be my grids for him. I'll probably go with this one and this one. Yep, 2 separate grids. And with that said, let's go back to the discussion. We're actually done, and now we're going to the in-depth thing, which is to compare the 4 of them. SYGNA Ethan, SYGNA LYRA, SYGNA Kris, and BEDE. BEDE actually has the lowest HP and the lowest speed stat. And if you compare everything, well, BEDE does not have a master passive skill, which is sad because all the others have master passive skills, which either raise their attack stat even more indirectly or raise their special attack stat even more, and as well as their physical attack stats and their physical defense defensive stats even more. And so yeah, out of the 4, you know, if you want to compare Master Fair versus Poke Fair, definitely Master Fairs would be probably better than the Poke Fair, but at the same time, if you think about the odds, well, it's much easier to get a Poke Fair than a Master Fair unit. So stats are not everything, and I have talked about these multipliers, and I'm just going to go to the numbers which have been discussed or computed by Jack. So thank you, Jack, for this one and STDK12. I'm not sure if Bernard actually helped you with the computations, but there you go. And as we have seen, SYGNA Ethan is capable of dealing crazy damage. Now, it's not just, you know, just showing the numbers anymore. We have proven that SYGNA Ethan is capable of dealing immense amounts of damage. And I'm actually recording this before SYGNA LYRA and SYGNA Kris came out. I'm probably gonna premiere the video after LYRA comes out though. Or I'm not sure. So take note that I only have seen SYGNA Ethan as of this time that I'm recording this. And now we go to the comparison. And as I said earlier in the start of the video, BEDE is a tech, and we have a lot of fairy type tech sync pairs. Before I show who I'm comparing him with, if you haven't done so, please do it, as it will help with the algorithm, and it takes a lot of time to do this, just a couple of minutes to watch, as well as leave a comment for the algorithm or tell me why you want to scout for BEDE or why you will skip or anything at all. And here we go. I compared BEDE actually with these guys. BEDE with LYGIA. Why LYGIA? She's a dragon type. Well, LYGIA is one of the strongest fairy type DPSers out there. So I'm putting LYGIA here. Palentine's Dawn, Palentine's Serena, and Summer Marnie. And one thing common about these guys is that they are all tech sync pairs. So I did not include Sycamore or Springberg, who are supports, or I did not put Diantha in here because she's strike. But as you can see over here, only Summer Marnie uses the attack stat. Every single one of them else is using the special attack stat. And BEDE actually has the lowest special attack out of the bunch. Palentine Serena has the highest defense? Really? Oh, that's wrong. Never mind. Just ignore that. LYGIA has the highest defense. And special defense, LYGIA as well, with Palentine Serena having the lowest. Speed stat, highest belongs to Palentine Serena. HP, highest belongs to Summer Marnie, and so on and so forth. But stats are not everything. And here come the multipliers. And I'm gonna hide myself for a bit so that you can see Palentine's or Summer Marnie's multipliers. As you can see, BEDE's multipliers are pretty easy to trigger. In fact, very easy to trigger. Baffle Buff 9 and Confusion Synergy 9 are Confusion multipliers. Baffle Buff 9 and Fuzzy Strike 5, as well as the built-in one, are Confusion multipliers. And then Maximum Superpowered 5, Super Duper Effective 2, and yeah, those are just if the opponent is weak to either Fairy type or, you know, Fire type or Psychic type. So very easy to trigger multiplier. You just have to confuse the opponent and make sure that you're hitting on type and you're good with BEDE. How about the others? Well, LYGIA No field effects. She's a dragon type unit. Well, she's supposed to be not. Let's not discuss her sync move anyway. Let's not discuss the sync move right now because she's dragon type. But the rest, Harry 3, flinching opponent. HP trade-off 4 and 5. The lower her HP, the stronger the damage. And what do you have with lower HP? The lower your HP is, the closer you are to death. Welp. Wide open, the lower the opponent's accuracy by using default. Palentine's Dawn relies on debuffs. Keep debuffing the opponent. Your sync move gets stronger. Power Loving, similar. The lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the damage. Power Posture, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger the damage. So you have to debuff. Palentine Serena, Hunter's Instinct, you have to debuff the opponent's speed. Overpower, you have to debuff the opponent's special attack, was it? Paralysis Synergy 5, a little bit easier. Paralyze the opponent. Ramming Speed, increase your own speed. Inertia, increase your own speed. Built in, you have to paralyze the opponent. Pretty easy. And then for Summer Marnie, Foul Fighting, you have to inflict the opponent with a condition. Flinching, particularly for Summer Marnie. Overpower, lower the opponent's special attack. Super duper effective 2. You have to make sure that you're hitting on type. Super effective up next can be obtained by chance by using bulk up. And then built-in stats up. This is pretty easy to trigger with Summer Marnie. You use bulk up 3 times and then use her trainer move. And then Devastation, the lower the opponent's special attack stat is, which you can lower by using her strongest attack, which I totally forgot what it is right now. No, I forgot. Let's not. And super effective up next, again, you can trigger this by chance by using bulk up. So in terms of ease of multipliers, nothing beats BEDE. You just have to confuse them. Confusion lasts quite a while. And then just make sure that you hit the opponent and on-type damage. And he becomes the fairy type Sync Nook King, or should I say Prince of the bunch. He beats the highest one before, which is Summer Marnie at 15,041,894. Now you have 16,328,028. And again, if you're curious about how this is computed, check out the link in the description. But still, DPS belongs to Summer Marnie with 2,729,378. Palentine Serena, on the other hand, is the second strongest. Third strongest belongs to LYGIA in this list. And fourth belongs to BEDE. Fifth and last one here belongs to Palentine's Dawn. But then take note that Palentine's Dawn and BEDE hit every single opponent. AoE. The rest are all single target. And Palentine's Dawn can only reach those numbers after you keep debuffing the opponent by using Charm and Fake Tears, her debuffing moves. Meanwhile, BEDE can reach these numbers just by confusing the opponent and just by making sure that the opponent is weak to the type that you're using your attack on. And I'm pretty sure this is Dazzling Gleam. So, weak to Fairy type, and you should be able to land this amount of damage. So, BEDE overall is great. Great. And now, you know, let us sort these guys out by order of, I think I first done the sync, or rather the DPS. So Summer Marnie over here is the strongest one, with the lowest one again being Palentine's Dawn. So Summer Marnie, Palentine, Serena, LYGIA, then BEDE, and Palentine's Dawn. But again, BEDE is 2 move gauge attack, hits everyone. 2 move gauge attack hits everyone. LYGIA 3 move gauge attack hits 1. Serena 3 move gauge attack hits 1. Summer Marnie 4 move gauge attack hits 1. BEDE 2 move gauge attack hits everyone. And now if we rank their sync moves, BEDE comes first with 16 million, then Summer Marnie, then Palentine's Serena, then Palentine's Dawn. We're not gonna discuss, or we're excluding... Well, I made a mistake. But just ignore that. That's LYGIA, and it's too late to correct that. But we're ignoring LYGIA here. But you might want to know, how about all fairy types? How about the Yantha? Let's put the Yantha here. And as you can see over here, the Yantha actually ranks second in terms of fairy type DPS with 2,693,517. Meaning Summer Marnie deals better, is still better than the Yantha. And the good thing about the Yantha, even with a weaker sync nuke damage, is that she's a striker and she hits everyone instead of just one opponent. The good thing about Summer Marnie versus the Yantha is that every single time you use bulk up and then you use her trainer move, she gets her speed stat max, if I'm not mistaken. So she becomes quite fast, decently fast. Meanwhile, the Yantha is still slow as heck, and unless you want to suffer, there are not exactly a lot of fairy type good synergy in terms of the move gauge thing. Probably Catalyst for Springberg. You can bring the move gauge acceleration when you use a sync move, but other than that, move gauge management, there's gonna be one with the Yantha. Probably Sycamore, you know, can speed up the Yantha, but then that's the Yantha's problem, and that's what makes Summer Marnie much better than the Yantha. But overall, again, you're hitting everyone with BEDE using a 2-move gauge attack. And Multipliers extremely easy to procure compared to the rest of these guys. So, why should you scout for BEDE? Well, I just said it. He's a very strong fairy type, not only with sync move, but he also hits very fast. And remember, one more thing, that every single time you hit the opponent, not only are you lowering their special attack stat, but you also lower their special defense stat. So the more you attack, the stronger you get. Boom, kaboom, kaboom. 2-move gauge. So within a few turns, you're able to use a sync move. And the thing about 2-move gauge attacks versus 3 or 4-move gauge attacks, your teammates can help with attacking. You get to bring the sync move countdown lower faster than waiting, because you have to use a 4-move gauge attack. And in Champion Stadium, you normally get ally move gauge max -2, so you have to wait a little bit before the others can do anything. Number 2, Scout, because he is a Pokefair. And a Pokefair gives you 10% chance of scouting for a random 5-star instead of normal Spotlight or seasonal, or, you know, the special costume rates of just 7%. Scout because there's a 2% chance of getting the featured unit rather than the 1% chance of getting a Master Fair unit. And Scout because the final rival, the third rival of Pokemon of of Sword and Shield is finally here. While Victor is not yet here. Victor and Cinderace or Scorbunny, or Sol and Scorbunny would be even better. With, you know, another reason is because he has a max move. Probably you like G-Max Hatterene or something like that, or probably use BEDE or Hatterene in battle in your games, or probably because he has the strongest sync nuke. Again, best reason, let me know in the description or in the comment section if you will scout or if you will not scout. And the best thing, the most entertaining comment will be pinned by me. And why should you not scout? Well, number 1, he's a Pokefair. There are 3 Master Fairs right now. You should probably prioritize the Master Fairs because Master Fairs have not yet rerun. Number 2, yeah, the anniversary is just around the corner. 3 it's the end of August. 3 months away. And BEDE is just a Pokefair, you know, probably by the time of the anniversary, BEDE is back. Who knows? Again, Pokefairs have a 3 to 12 month rerun span, something like that. And why should you also not scout? Because you do not get any presents by scouting. And because it's only a 10% if you think about it, while Master Fairs give you a 12% chance of scouting a random 5-star. What else? Well, there's nothing really much to hate unless you hate BEDE. I actually do not like his attitude in the game, but then it was funny when Opal adopted BEDE and made him tame. It was funny as heck. I loved that scene. But that's about it. Again, guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, as it really helps with the channel. And again, let me know in the comment section if you guys want to help me out even more, you know, help with the financial support of the channel or anything like that. You can become a member by clicking on the join button down below, and or send me a super chat or a super thanks if you're watching this as a premiere, or if you're watching this as a replay, you can click the thanks button if you wish to. And yeah, have a highlighted comment that will most likely be pinned, even though there's another comment that's probably more interesting or something like that. But shout out goes to my awesome 1-year members, as well as those who are on the way there. Thank you to Nick or Alcin. Thank you Shadowphil. Thank you Aryan Singh. Thank you Cindy the Cinderace Gamer. Thank you Roy Mustango. Thank you Luca Midi. Thank you Jeremy. Thank you Arima. Thank you Sasori. Thank you Marcella. Thank you Lance Nice. Thank you Ewis for the support. Right now I've been playing with the emojis. If you want access to BEDE emoji, SYGNA Ethan emoji, well, SYGNA LYRA, SYGNA Kris, I'll be swapping them on the summoning sessions. You can become a member and have some fun in the chat with me, with us. But with that said, faves over the meta, guys. As always, I have said, faves, choose your faves. Do not scout because they're good, they're awesome, you know. Before, what was awesome is now pathetic. Before, the Yanta was so good, now she's just shake my head. I tried to use her in Champion Stadium earlier. Well, it's Monday when I was recording this. Tried to use her in Champion Stadium, failed desperately. So slow, shake my head. Now, probably when BEDE comes, BEDE will completely wipe out the stage, who knows? So, faves over the meta because the meta always changes. And with that said, if you're curious and want to know what or how many gems you have before July or June 16, ending on June or July 3, right? Yep, check out my how many gems can we get video. And by the way, I'm going to try my best to make bi-monthly updates to this one, probably short or something. A reminder of how many gems we can get the remainder of the month. Got quite some interesting requests for that as well. Stay tuned, I'm gonna try if I have time. But with that said, thank you so much for watching my BEDE video. It's a little bit longer than the others, I think, because there's quite a lot of things to say with BEDE. I mean, I have to try and convince you to scout BEDE rather than the Master Fairs, right? Because I know most of you are gonna ignore BEDE. Because why? Why should you prioritize the BEDE over the Master Fairs, right? So I'm gonna have to try my best to steer you to summon for BEDE rather than the Master Fairs. So I have more to say for this guy rather than the others. And I'm done. Do that, you know the drill. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Right.